t-shirts, whatever, and I'm sure there will be, then you guys set it up. Please just
where
give
can
some
they get
money
the
to
logo
charity.
from?
I'm not sure that it's online in high res, but if it isn't, then maybe I'll do a quick blog post.
The group, the eletroneum group. Well, in the group you can. You got a fan page, and have you got a group? Because in a group you can actually put attach a document.
We've got the biggest Telegram group in the world.
You can just post it in there, I guess.
Probably,
right?
but what we'll do is we'll do a blog page where we say you're welcome. Then people can see that that we haven't just made that up.
Yeah.
We'll do a blog page and say you are welcome to use these high-res logos to make mugs, to make key rings, to make whatever you want.
Happy with that, guys?
But I'd rather you didn't profit. Don't profit from it yourself, guys. Give it to charity.
Oh, absolutely,
right?
charity's important.
Yeah, definitely. So this is where you guys get to ask questions to Richard. So nearly there's about 1,000 of you guys nearly on this live. So feel free. I'm gonna look for the questions, guys. Feel free to ask Richard those questions. So let's see who we got. Like I said, if you guys were asking questions right from the beginning, I can't scroll up anymore. So let's have a look.
Got better eyes than I have.
Okay, mugs. Okay, Sunny, bro, ask him on which online store we can see Eletroneum as a medium of exchange we buy there in the coming years, like Amazon, eBay, Alibaba. Well, currently it's on Cryptopia right now, as Richard mentioned, because to disconnect my phone. Oh, sorry guys, I just go off there. So we're just waiting for the other wallets to be live, and then we're gonna go live on the other exchanges, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So what else we got? So some people, let's give some dates, because some people have heard me say 4 weeks for HackerOne, potential 2 weeks. So I mean,
it's not going to be 2 weeks because they want 2 solid weeks to do their trials. Okay. So we've squashed down the fact that they wanted 1 week of prep. Bear in mind, they only came to our office yesterday or something. All the days blended to one for me now at the moment. I think it was yesterday morning they were at the office. So they've given us a whole bunch of goodies. You may have seen diaries and stuff. So they dumped some goodies on us yesterday and said,
I saw that
let's set the plan up, right? So they've set up the plan, and the first plan was to give a week of prep. And we went, no, we need to squash that. So they are geared up to start on Monday. So we've already squashed a bit of time off that 4 weeks. Then they definitely want 2 weeks. Then that's where we've got the grey area, right? So what we know is they said 3 to 4 weeks, so let's assume that it's going to be at least 3 weeks. Let's assume that. So we're talking about the sort of beginning of the month, but I don't want to actually commit to a firm date until they say to me, we've looked at it and we're good to go. It would be foolish of me to do it again. I've done it enough. I've already promised things enough. I think let's wait a couple of weeks in and see how we're getting on. It may well be that after 1 week they go, my gosh, we can't penetrate so far. And that would be really reassuring, and then maybe we could say, right, let's firm this up for the X of December. So you're
trying your best to get it done faster. HackerOne is saying up to 4 weeks to get the full review.
Yeah. So if we were to say at some point in the first week of December, that is I think that's in my head. It's going to be somewhere in the first week of December. I think is the extremely likely scenario.
Between the 1st and the 7th of September.
Let's put that in as my absolute wish list, but without me putting my neck right on the chopping block.
Amazing day.
We're in Maidstone.
So I'm with my friend Missing Twist, and we've just arrived at the Eletroneum office. As you can see, Missing over there.
Take me through and show you everybody.
So we're gonna go in.
What's going on?
And we're gonna have a look at exactly what's going on there. So a few people to jump on.
We want to raise with him.
Hey guys.
Talk to him about. And he's got some really good explanations
too. People.
So
just inside.
We're also going to talk to
we've just literally come in. Feel free to share this video for the benefit of the community, guys. So we're literally in outside Kent. It's a place in Maidstone in Kent. It was about 164 miles away from where I am. So it took me about 3 hours to get here. We finally got here, guys. So jumping on. Feel free to share this video for the benefit of the community, guys. Feel free to tag your friends in there. We will have a Q&A.
Share, guys. Share this video.
Okay.
Really important. Me and Sonny are going to go up.
We're going to go up. You know, guys, one of the biggest reasons, Mitin, I've actually come is, you know, I've got invested interest in Electroneum, and you know, even though there might be videos and things like that outside of, you know, on YouTube and stuff, I want to make sure myself this is the real deal. Okay, so let's jump on. Okay, as you can see, this is the team, real people. They're all working hard.
Hello.
And here you go. There's the man himself.
Hello.
Richard.
Looking a bit like a down and out at the moment. Cheers.
There's the man Richard himself. How you doing, Richard?
Very well, thank you. Tired, but that's as to be expected.
I can see the team are doing very
Yep, they're awesome.
very busy.
We'll be working all weekend as well, as usual. You've probably already seen with this whole thing with HackerOne, we're moving everything over on staging service for HackerOne to get stuck in on Monday. So exciting times.
Awesome. Do you want to just show me around? I mean, what we got going on here?
Well, these guys are all moving everything across to staging.
Okay, let's show you guys.
Here's the.
So these guys are the programmers, are
yeah,
they?
that's it.
Okay. So they've got actual desktop, not laptop, so they can't pack away and do a runner.
Suitcases for cash under the desk, obviously, on wheels, ready to roll.
Okay.
Imogen and Natalie from social media.
There you go, guys.
Probably
Imogen and Natalie. You probably recognise them from the Telegram group.
more bits and bobs and.
And what about these guys over there?
Yeah, more social media and admin.
Social media admin over there.
So and this is it. This is our little team, and more support hidden. We hide these ones. They're not fit for human consumption.
There they are.
And there's server room in there. Exciting stuff. Not that exciting perhaps, but it's exciting as it gets.
Cool.
So this is it. This is where we do our thing, and we're going to have a huge recruitment drive. But at the moment, we just can't recruit. We're so busy. We haven't got time to interview. We haven't got time for these guys to bring new people up to speed.
Okay.
As soon as this thing's live, we're going to have a monster recruitment drive because there's so many things that we can do and so many people we need. It's going to be exciting. Okay. So we got the floor upstairs. So you go upstairs in the building. There's an empty floor up there, and we'll be taking that floor on and expanding the team. So,
right. I think me and Mitchell got some questions to ask. Obviously, I've driven down here. I've got quite a few personal questions that I want to ask Richard. So if you guys got some questions, hold on to your questions just yet, because if you start giving me questions now, Facebook will just sort of start filtering it up. So what you want to do is you just hold off on your questions, and you know, when we sit down, we have a chat, then you guys can start writing questions. Okay, guys? So yeah, I mean, we about to say something?
Oh, I was just going to say, whereabouts are you from? How far are you driven?
Oh, I've come from Birmingham. I've driven 164 miles, about 3 hours.
Okay, yeah, it's not a small
Well,
distance.
Kent is definitely a very nice place, I have to say. Meeting wasn't lying about that. Definitely a nice place. You know, one of the biggest questions I've got, and I think many of you guys have probably got the same question, is in regards to that 21 billion mammoth supply, right? And you know, just by looking at that, you think, okay, if Electron goes to $1, $10, then practically it could be as the same value as the entire crypto market, right? So, you know, Rich, I know there's something about this decimal point thingy, right? Could you like show us, demonstrate exactly?
Well, it's because, right, so what we've done is we did 21 billion. We used 21 just because the crypto community are familiar with Bitcoin, and there was 21 million Bitcoin. So we used 21 just arbitrarily, picked 21 because of the familiarity with Bitcoin. But then we wanted to slide the decimal places around because Bitcoin's got 8 decimal places, and most of your everyday users are struggling with that. So, bear in mind there are no everyday users of cryptocurrency yet, really, and we're trying to get that. So we're trying to get mass adoption. So for mass adoption, we really wanted 2 decimal places because there isn't anyone in the world who's not familiar with a 2 decimal place currency system. Everyone's got a decimal currency system, as far as I know, anyway. So, you know, $100, 56 cents. Everyone gets it. Okay. So that's what we wanted to achieve, and we achieved it by sliding the decimal places along. But what's really interesting is that supply figure where you're saying, gosh, so many coins. And that, what's brilliant about that is it shows how humans want whole numbers, right? We've got 10 fingers and we desperately want whole numbers. We don't want fractions.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let me come to the whiteboard. Let me
Okay,
explain. Let me
move on to
explain.
the whiteboard. This is interesting, guys. Interesting.
Okay.
Those of you that want to know about this $21 billion market cap, we're just about to find out. Okay,
So,
I'm going to turn it around to you. Let's flip this.
tell me when you've got something that
There
you
you
can see. Okay, so if you look at Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
So Bitcoin got 21 million. Everyone focuses on the 21 million.
Yeah.
So you've got 21, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And let's put that in. So that's what everyone focuses on because we're humans and we want to see whole numbers. But remember, you've got 8 decimal places. So that 8 decimal places, if you think about it, right, is it would be a potential to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, in terms of how many different iterations there are, because remember you've got all zeros as well, that's actually 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, so that's how many subdivisions you can have on Bitcoin. You can have 21 million times whatever that number is there. What's that? 100 million.
Yeah.
So what that is 2.1 times 10 to the 15. Okay, it's a big number. That's Bitcoin. That's how many possible divisions there are. So if you divide it up into its smallest chunk, like if you take a dollar, smallest chunk you've got is 1 cent. So take a pound, the smallest chunk you've got is 1 penny. And that is the smallest bit of Bitcoin. So now if you take us, where everyone's freaking out a little bit about 21 billion, so we've got 21, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now these are the whole numbers. Everyone's like, so much more than Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But it isn't, because we've only got times, let's do the same thing. So we've got up to 99 cents, which is actually 100 because you've got the zeros, right? So we've got 21 billion times 100.
Okay.
21 billion times 100, 2.1 times 10 to the 12. So we've got less supply than Bitcoin if you
Okay.
take the smallest divisions.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
cryptocurrency is all about small divisions. So how many people pay in a whole Bitcoin? How many people hold a whole Bitcoin? Everyone holds fractions. They don't hold wholes, they hold fractions, and they pay in fractions. So actually what we're trying to do is we're trying to make it really easy with 2 decimal points. That's supposed to make life a lot easier. But when people are saying, there's so many coins, there's not. There really isn't many coins. It's because we've shuffled everything forwards, gone to 2 decimal places. There's actually less coins in ours than in Bitcoin.
Solved the problem.
Well, whether we've solved the problem, I don't know, but we've certainly...
You have, because you're right, it's in large amounts to say who can afford to have, at the moment, a whole Bitcoin. So
Yeah.
you're right, it's solved the problem.
Smash some reaction, guys, if this is making sense. If it's not making sense,
Get some mathematicians on it.
yeah, get some
Find out whether I'm
mathematicians.
making it up.
Screenshot that, guys. Screenshot those digits there. Okay. Mitten, I've asked mine. Do you want to ask one?
No, you know what? I've had a good look around and just bring the camera around.
Yep.
I mean, listen, this is, like I just said a few minutes ago, this is real. This is a real place. This is real human beings. One of the things, and this hasn't come from anybody in this office or Richard or anybody else, this is from me. There's an amount of people that are sending threats to Richard himself and to the team via social media, Telegram, etc., etc. Stop it. Okay, that's got to stop right now.
You heard the guy.
I've just met everybody
So,
in this office, and I'm trying to
Richard,
get into more.
one question, another question now. One way to do, guys, let me get through my questions first. There's about over 200 of you guys on this live right now. Let me get through my questions first, and then we'll do a Q&A with you guys and Richard. How does that sound?
Let's head back to where there's
Yeah,
a bit
go on
of
then.
space.
Go on then. Sit back there.
So we're not under the devs feet.
Absolutely fantastic human beings. They look very tired at the same time.
Where shall we sit? Over there?
Wherever you like. Let's do it.
Let's go over there.
We'll go and find. Look, somebody actually sent a nice card and some chocolate brownies.
Well, it'll be nice to sit there actually, because then
There you go.
I can just put my phone down.
There's Nick.
Hey, Kajal.
Thanks, Nick. We've got a card and some chocolate brownies. Here he is. Here's a man who sent us a card. Lovely little person.
Okay, guys, don't start pulling your questions just yet, because like I said before, what's going to happen is Facebook is, I won't be able to scroll up to all the questions, so not yet, guys. All right, not yet. So I've got questions on here.
Go for it.
So okay, so you've pretty much cleared the 21 billion market cap thing, and I think a lot of people will probably find ease now and know that there's tremendous amount of value in Electroneum, guys. Okay, so my next one is, why can't we add our coins to our paper wallet?
You can't add the coins to the paper wallet yet, simply because what we've done is we launched the blockchain. We had to launch the blockchain because we had 120,000 contributors, and their coins were just in a database. So we'd registered how many they had, but they hadn't gone straight into the blockchain because the blockchain wasn't live. Okay. So we had to switch the blockchain on, and then we had to transfer the 120,000 transactions into the blockchain, so that the blockchain was all ready for when the owners of Eletroneum start to use it. Okay. So we got the blockchain live, which meant we had to get some miners mining. So the miners started mining, because of course it's the miners that handle the ledger and put the transactions on. So that all happened. Then we went live, and obviously we had this whole security nightmare that we're dealing with now and are on top of. So the blockchain is live and is trading, as you've seen, and it's only trading with the full miners at the moment. Okay. So those miners are out there mining. I've had a lot of people saying, oh, all the good coins are gone and all these sorts of things, right? Nothing to worry about. We need those miners, and we need the blockchain to be maintained by those miners, because that's how we get onto the next bit, the web wallet. So the web-based wallet and the Android app-based wallet, soon to be iOS as well, once we get that live. So what that does is that enables you to transact in Eletroneum. So if I wanted to pay you some Eletroneum, I could send you some. Now, if I send you some from here to your app, it has to be transacted on the blockchain, and it's going to do that. Yeah. The phone is not actually transacting directly with the blockchain. The phone is talking to our servers, and our servers want it to get to you. Okay. And our servers need to do
that's something that you can show us a live working prototype on the phone.
I can. Well, you saw. I'm not sure if you did actually.
Let me know in the comments section if you guys want to see that.
Well, yeah, by all means do so. I mean, what we're doing at the moment is we're moving everything over to a staging server to enable HackerOne to get full access to this as of Monday morning. So all of our stuff that was working internally off our IP address may not be, but I can certainly show you some stuff. We might need to gear up for that. I'll talk to the guys in a minute. Okay, cool. But
whoopsie, guys. Sorry, guys.
That was my fault. I kicked the desk. But to carry on answering that question,
and get it
which was about the offline wallets. The question was about why can't we transfer them offline wallets? You will be able to transfer them to an offline wallet the instant it goes live. But what we've been doing is we've been making sure that the security is in place. Now, we didn't get hacked, but there were definitely hundreds of people that would have lost their coins because their password had been used elsewhere. Yeah. So I sort of said this earlier in the interview, Crypto Rich, but we've then got a bit paranoid, and we've added so much security, it's ridiculous. And now what we want is HackerOne to do a full security audit, right? And these guys run Coinbase, Department of Defense, etc.
And so touching on that, guys, you guys can actually go on to hackerone.com. Yeah. You can actually go on there. You can check out what sort of things they do. I have checked up if Coinbase have used them. They have. They've spent thousands of dollars. You guys can check that up as well. And another thing interesting as well, I have seen the invoice that was given to Rich in terms of the transaction between him and HackerOne. So it's all legit, guys. It is there, and it's all confirmed.
Over the weekend, at some stage, by Monday, hopefully, because they're going to start work on Monday, we will be live on their website. The way that they work is most of their campaigns are public campaigns, so mostly they're inviting people from the community to attack Coinbase publicly and then report problems.
Sounds a bit scary though.
It is scary, but remember that there are black hat hackers, can't say it, sitting out there that are trying to attack Coinbase anyway. So if you can encourage a white hat community to attack, but all they do is they say, I found this problem, they report it confidentially to HackerOne. HackerOne triage that, they run it through their system called triage, they look through it, they find out whether it's been reported before, they report it, they make sure that there is evidence of there being a security flaw. That gets passed through to us, and we look at it. Now that's stage 2. We're going to be taking on HackerOne into stage 2. So ongoing, we will be using HackerOne. We've entered a contract with them to
I have that leads on to the next question, which is why do you need to do that prior?
I know. Yeah. Well, I put my hands up to this. Right? I should have done. It's 2020 hindsight, I'm afraid. Never worked in the financial sector, and that is embarrassing for me to say that I just was not prepared for the amount of bad guys that we're going to attack, and it's been an extraordinary thing. I mean, I've worked in software my whole life. I've had companies developing software for 20 years, and I've never seen anything like it. I mean, obviously we've had our own success to a degree because I've never had exposure like this either. We're massively exposed in terms of our media presence and everything else. we've got a lot of people, which is great.
Well,
People are excited.
I saw 50,000 members, and then 100,000, 150,
it's crazy,
200,
yeah.
and it was like every 10,
Oh, it's
20 members per minute.
It was literally crazy. And the last email that we sent out, we haven't sent an email to the full database, but the last email that we sent out got 280,000 delivered emails.
Wow.
So that's a monster amount of emails, and I can show you that as well if you like on Mailchimp.
Wow.
So we got this massive amount, and 120,000 of those people had actually contributed. So we've made, I think we've had 150 or 175,000 downloads of the app. So we got enormous numbers,
I saw that Android.
enormous numbers of people, and we haven't even started to market yet. When we start marketing this, it's going to go bang. I mean, I showed Metin a moment ago the mobile miner. Metin, how easy is that mobile miner?
Piece of cake.
People are going to recommend it. I guarantee people will
Absolute
recommend
piece of cake. It's going to be a talking point. So if you, if you're a student at university or college, it's going to be impossible to not talk about this, to show other people, because you are making money just going about your normal day. If you're down the pub, if you're out with friends, if you're at home with pals or whatever it is, this is something that everybody, in my opinion, needs to keep talking about. So keep talking about it, because guys, it's so easy. It's so easy.
It's going to be exciting. No one's doing anything like it. So we're excited to do it, because what we're doing is we're trying to get cryptocurrency into the hands of everyday people. Everyday people have heard of Bitcoin, but very few of them have got it. Okay? And actually, it's not that easy to get hold of. And don't get me wrong, Electroneum at the moment, as we speak right now, is just the same as all the other cryptocurrencies. It's locked up in Cryptopia, and how the hell do you get it? Oh, you have to buy some Bitcoin, transfer some Bitcoin, swap it for Electroneum. It's beyond everybody. But as soon as this app comes out, right, and I know that there's been a delay, and I truly am sorry for that. It's my fault, and I apologise to everybody who's been involved. I'm so sorry. But when we get it out, everyone's focusing on this delay, but actually it's a delay. It's just, that's all it is. Once we get it out, all of our wonderful things are going to happen, right? We've got loads of commercial ideas. We've got a ton of cash to promote this thing. It's going to be massive. So we're going to start promoting it. We've got a PR company I'm seeing on next Wednesday that the deal is not quite struck, but it's virtually struck. So we're going to start a campaign ready for the next launch, the second launch. Sorry about that. But we're going to start a campaign for that, and we're going to start turning around this negativity into positivity. Got two big game companies, not game companies that supply games, but they're game advertising companies. So one of those guys I was talking to you about earlier, they've got 3 million Android phones on their list of people that they can push video content through to within advertising within other games. So we can have a little video made for around, I think it's around $45,000. We can just drop out to 3 million game players this concept of
somebody just injected me with excitement, literally.
Yeah.
So
it's nuts. It's nuts.
We can take on millions of cryptocurrency users, which no one's ever. I mean, don't get me wrong. I appreciate they're probably 3 or maybe even 4 million Bitcoin holders, but no one's really transacting with it, and it's just not. It's not in the mainstream. People haven't got it, and the reason is it's difficult to get. Whereas if we start dripping a little bit out to people, there's 200 million people that are unbanked in the world. They've got no bank account, no access to bank account, and yet they've got a mobile phone, they've got an Android phone. They go and buy a SIM, they plug it in, and they use their Android phone. So they've got phones, they've got internet, but they haven't got a bank account. Well, I'm not suggesting that we replace all banking in any way, shape, or form. But if we can provide an electronic transactional system for 10% of those people, 5% of those people, then we're the biggest cryptocurrency in the world. And that's a heck of a thing to say. I mean, for me to say that.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm not suggesting that we're going to be worth more than Bitcoin. I'm not predicting any kind of prices at all.
Thank you for saying that.
But who knows?
Because there's so many people on social media like, oh, this is going to be the next big Bitcoin thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still a massive proponent of Bitcoin. I'm not saying sell your Bitcoin and buy Electroneum. I'm just not. Bitcoin's just got massive legs. Massive legs.
You got some fans already. So I love you, Richard.
We've got. Bear in mind with Bitcoin, right? So I would always say diverse. Be diverse. Don't just invest in Electroneum. Don't just invest in Bitcoin. Don't just buy Ethereum. Don't just buy Ripple. Buy a bit of all the ones that you find interesting. And there's loads of exciting stuff out there. I mean, as you can probably tell, I'm a massive proponent of crypto. I love cryptocurrencies. I love blockchain projects and the fact that these things are going to change the world. And I want to be part of that, which is why we're doing this. I didn't do this to get rich quick. I haven't done it. I've already lived a good lifestyle. I've actually made my lifestyle considerably worse by doing this, because I haven't seen my kids, haven't been at home. I've just been working, which has been all right because I love what I'm doing. But I've made my lifestyle worse with this business, not better. But it's not about getting rich quick. It's about making something that's just going to be awesome.
Yeah, no,
I'm very excited.
and he is real, guys.
Yeah.
He's not
He's not a robot.
He's not a hologram. He's not.
Sometimes I wish
He's
I
not
was
a
a
hologram.
robot.
So, question for you guys: would
Yeah.
you want your coins now, knowing that HackerOne hasn't penetrated it yet, or would you rather wait for HackerOne's review to come back? And if there is any sort of vulnerability in the software, would you not rather have that done now and then have a really smooth launch, or would you guys just want to be like the rest of the people and have that out right now? I mean, you guys could have quite easily. I mean, your guy said it may be okay, but you weren't.
He was a bit stronger than maybe, but he said, yeah. I think his exact words were something like, "Yeah, I think we're all good to go." And I was like, "Oh no, I can't." Yeah, I think we're good to go. That doesn't make you feel. I'm not going to sleep well tonight with "Yeah, I think we're good to go."
Yeah, of course.
I had to know, and that was at that point that I thought we need to go. What the heck? You know, there's these monster companies out there that just do security. We need to get one. We need to get one fast. HackerOne were the fastest. We spoke to Synac, Bugcrowd, and HackerOne. HackerOne were fast. They were exceptionally professional. They got someone down here the very next day, which was just amazing. And everything. I've been tied up to the teams in San Francisco. They're doing press releases. They're doing all sorts. So their machine has moved exceedingly fast. So I've been dead impressed with them. And they can then give it this big green tick. You know what? We've pen tested it. We've vulnerability tested it. We've given it our shot. We're documenting all of our API endpoints. We're documenting everything, shoving it up to them and saying, look, if you reverse engineered our app, which we haven't got time for, so we've reverse engineered it for you. Look, attack it.
Yeah.
Do your worst.
Do what you can.
Hit it hard. And so they're just wrapping it up right now to deliver to them on Monday. And on Monday they're going to start this huge bulk penetration testing, vulnerability testing.
And we'll have a chat with the team as well in a bit. But I think that's so important because you guys have to remember, right? When I think of Eletroneum, I'm thinking this guy and the team have $40 million. I mean, it's not like it's 40 quid.
No.
It's $40 million.
It is.
So, I mean, I work with a lot of people online. Okay, I've got my own crypto trading group, and you know, I'm helping a lot of people in the crypto world, right? And what I found is that when a date is given and the date isn't met, straight away people think scam. People think, are people going to run away? So, I mean, we've had situations. I think Mitchell will agree, like how, you know, there's been businesses where they had the office, full shebang, logo everywhere, logo at the beginning, and they've pretty much done a run out. What's stopping you guys from doing the same thing? I hope you don't mind me asking.
No, I don't mind at all. I mean, I've tried to be as completely transparent as I possibly can on this business. People have said to me, why don't you, right before we set it up, why don't you set it up in the Cayman Islands? Why don't you set it up in Gibraltar? Why the hell why would you pay UK tax? That's the first thing that people I've known have said. I know other people in business have just said, set up offshore. This whole thing's global. No, you know.
Of course.
I don't mind paying a bit of tax, right? We've got the best schools. We've got hospitals. We've got the NHS. That's the envy of the world. I'm British. I'm happy to be British, proud to be British, and I want to pay some tax. Right? I want to make Britain have some really cool tech. Everybody thinks crypto. They think San Francisco. Everybody thinks tech. They think San Francisco. Everything. British technology is good. You know, we make great things. I mean, it'd be a terrible shame if we couldn't launch a cryptocurrency in the UK because we're going to get tied up in red tape. And I spoke to the Financial Times this morning, and they asked lots of questions about, are you worried about the FCA coming down? I'm like, well, no, I'm doing nothing wrong. I'm running a legitimate business. We've got an accountant that's going to audit us, right? We've followed their procedures for transactions. Everything is absolutely super crisp because it has to be. So we've got everything in line. We're very transparent. And from my personal perspective, Google me, go to Company's House, right? You'll find that I've had my first business that I set up with my business partner 20 years ago, still running, still trading.
I think that's important because when Richard mentioned to me about Company's House, and also Mitchell, you know, with online companies, they can set up a company house. Like today, I cannot go
call it Mickey Mouse,
right?
But
what Richard shared with me that he's actually got a business that's been running, and pretty much Richard is a wealthy individual, so you know he's got his name on the line for this, and so if Eletroneum was to go somewhere, right, he's pretty much dragging his other company along with it because he's got a name for it.
Or it
So
would be dragging my family through the mud, you know.
This is a different ball game. Don't mind me saying.
Yeah,
This is a different ball game, guys. We've all been involved in bits and bobs in the past that we've physically seen our money go. Okay, we never see these people again. I don't need to mention names, but we've all been there and we've been stung. This is a different ball game. This is a totally different ball game. Yes, like Sonny said, you know, people have had offices in the past and then all of a sudden they're not there anymore. This is too busy. This is too busy. They'd have to clear this out. It'd take them days to clear everything out. Listen, it's not going to happen. I've never ever felt so not only patriotic about this because this is the first British cryptocurrency. Okay, that's a big part for me. But speaking to the team, speaking to Richard, there's been no issue. He made me a cup of coffee when I walked in. That doesn't happen, all right? So you can see how good this guy is. And I've got connections to Richard via a mutual friend. So this is a totally different ball game. This is exciting. And Sonny touched on a great point there. Do you want to wait for when it's right and safe to do so? Or do you want it to go early and potentially lose? I know which one.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm assuming.
When I'm thinking British coin, I'm looking back at Stratus as well. Stratus.
I mean, somebody else coined that phrase. It wasn't us. A journalist said first British cryptocurrency. We didn't put that forward, in fact, but we're probably the one that's made the biggest splash. But,
you have. Yeah, absolutely.
So hence somebody else had never seen another one. So that's
there's been Stratus. I think there was Scott coin or something like that. There's a
Scott. That's Scott right.
Coin.
Yeah.
So there's been a few British cryptocurrencies.
Yes, I'm not going to put my hand up to be in the first.
So so it wasn't Richard. It was the journalist. Okay. Another question I have is how do you plan using that money that you raised for marketing?
That's a good question. And I've got a good answer, I hope. Well, the fact is, we were going to do this anyway, right? No matter how much we raised, I threw in a reasonable ton of money to get this thing going because I was going to do it anyway. So even if we were raising nothing, we would have still launched Electroneum, but we would have had to rely on viral growth. All my businesses have always been organic growth. I've only ever grown organically. I've never gone out and got a whole ton of investors to do things. I've only grown organically, and that was kind of what the plan was. But then we're seeing these ICOs out there, and we thought, do you know what? If we raise a couple of million, imagine what we could do, right? We could do something amazing. We could translate it faster. We could get it out into different countries. We could run PR agencies all over the world. All of our target markets, we could have PR companies. Well, it'd be amazing. So we all sat down and sort of got a bit hyped about, imagine we could raise 2 million quid. So we decided that actually we'd do a crowdfunding event. And that, as you saw, I mean, we really touched people's nerves and said, crikey, you know, this is something different. We piqued an interest, and the crowdfunding went crazy. We were taken aback by it, really. I mean, it was, I know in our white paper we sort of said, 40 million, but we didn't, I don't know, I don't think anybody in the office really expected us to hit 40 million. It was just a sort of almost a pipe dream. However, when it started piling in, we were like, oh my God, we're going to do something absolutely amazing. So that's the answer. We're going to do something amazing. So first of all, the app as it stands is going to go live, and it's in English. If people, I know we've had a few different versions out, but there's been some translations in it already. People may or may not have seen that, but we've got translations into Hindi and Bahasa Indonesian and a few others. But we're going to get it translated into at least 37 different languages are on our to-do list now. So tons and tons of languages, because it's important to us, because the developing nations are where we're going to find people. Sure. We're not going to necessarily find who in London cares if they earn another cup of coffee a month, you know?
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
True.
It's not going to make any difference to anyone's life. Now that doesn't mean that we're not going to get a big following in London. Probably we are. I think there's going to be an awful lot of speculation from the Western world and developing world, you know, and that's a different thing, and that's not why I'm building it. I'm not building it for speculators. Whilst speculators are getting involved, I have no doubt. That's not why I'm building it. I'm building it because I want to do something that gets a massive audience into crypto. And this will be good for Bitcoin, by the way. Don't think it won't. Don't think we're not going to be taking anything from Bitcoin. But as these people go, oh my gosh, crypto, I've never had any before, I've got some. It's going to open their world to crypto. Yeah. So they're going to go, oh, Bitcoin, I might have a bit of that as well. So it'll be good for them. It won't be bad for them. But anyway, sorry. So first of all, it's getting our app and our web wallet translated is going to be critical. We've got I don't want to name the name yet because I haven't signed the contract. So the PR agency is going to go buying signal. Price just went up. So I'm meeting with them on Wednesday next week, and they're massive. Wednesday next week is the meeting with the PR company, massive multinational PR company. They're going to start work on trying to turn some of this negativity round into positivity.
Yeah.
So we're going to try and turn that into a positive experience. You know, what we're doing with this security has felt really negative, but it shouldn't be. It is a positive thing.
Yeah.
We've moved into the world of finance, huge finance. You know, you see the market capitalization. Well, where is that? Well, it's accessible via the web wallet. It's a bit terrifying.
Well, last I checked, ETN was what, 25. It might have dropped slightly, but it's like 254.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's around 200 odd million market capitalization. It's, you know, we're a week old.
Yeah.
It's
and wallets haven't even been live yet, has it?
No, and so the fact that it hasn't dropped in terms of price point, the fact that it hasn't plummeted down below 1 cent, when you actually think about the fact that the only people who paid 1 cent for this were people in the ICO, people in the crowd sale.
Sure.
They were the only ones who paid 1 cent. Everybody else is mined it. So they've just paid some electricity. And I know these miners are selling it because I can see them. But bear in mind, an awful lot of them are going, no, actually, I think this is going to do something. They're holding, even though they could sell it. So it's quite amazing that it's stabilised at that price point. I wouldn't have been surprised at all if it had plummeted right down, to be honest. But I also know that we're going to do something really, really exciting. So coming back to the money. So we've got PR agencies. We need PR agencies all over the place. I'm only engaged in that first one. They're multinational, so they'll be able to do an awful lot around the world, but we may very well need to do some very geo-targeted PR agencies as well, because they're going to know their local markets better than a giant corporate. So we're going to find little PR agencies in African states and various places that can reach the people on the ground that we're trying to get to, because they're going to be different. Most PR agencies have who do they want to deal with? They want to deal with people who've got money.
Of course.
Well, we're going to be the first people in the world who want to deal with people who've got no money.
Absolutely.
Well, we want to give them something.
Yeah.
This is something for
We
the
don't want
people.
to sell them something.
Yeah,
we don't want to
definitely.
sell them anything.
Many
How many
people-
other PR agencies are taken on by a company that doesn't want to sell something? What do you want to do? You want to give them something. Well, what's it going to cost them? It's going to cost them nothing. In fact, it's going to earn them some money. It's going to be the best PR job in the world, I think. But there we go. So we're going to be taking on PR all over the place and advertising all over the place. We have no idea yet, because we haven't launched the darn thing, what our viral take-up per user is going to be. We've got a few funky things that we need to get out. I think we're going to get this live. This delay might mean we get this live at the same time. We've got a fairly cool referral system in it that works on a pool, so people can refer. And then there's like almost like a mini lottery for coins. So we have a weekly draw for coins, and the people that refer the most people, it's almost like buying raffle tickets. So the people that refer the most people on the app. So if you were in a pub and you said, "Oh, have you seen this?" No, and they scan your QR code, bloop, and then you've now referred this person, and both of you drop into a prize draw, and you get more tickets if you've referred more people. Okay. So there's an incentive to refer a lot of
Great,
people.
great idea.
That's great.
So that's been coded, but we weren't going to launch it at the exact same time, just because we wanted to, we've got an awful lot of network monitoring to do when it goes live, in terms of making sure, because there's going to be tons of people that are running emulator banks, trying to get them up, trying to fake being miners. We've got loads and loads and loads of layers of algorithm that tries to identify whales, because we don't want whales, right?
No.
This is an important thing for me
Yeah,
to give a distinction,
in a bit
right?
more detail. Yeah, Wales. What do you mean?
With cryptocurrency, a few people have sort of poked me with a stick and said, "Oh, you said that your thing was going to be fair for CPU miners." Well, it is. What people don't understand is it is fair for CPU miners at the moment, right? That's what the Kryptonite algorithm is. But what people don't understand is that fair is that you've got a $200 PC and the guy over there has got a £10,000 GPU mining rig, right? It is fair, but he's got a piece of equipment that's off the scale.
Yeah.
So if he'd have paid $200 for his GPU mining rig, it could probably run at the same speed. But the reality of it is people are out there and they're whales.
Yes.
Now, that means the little guy's got no chance really of doing anything. But this is the important part. We don't care. We want those people out there with the GPU rigs to do their thing, because they're the ones that are mining the coins on the blockchain. And what we've got is we've got the mining pool that we control centrally on the mobile app, and that's not running the same algorithm as them. So you can't get a GPU mining rig to do it. You can only do it off your phone. Now, people will scam us, right? They'll disassemble the app and they'll try and run an emulator. And we've got all sorts of sneaky things to take those and block their IP, and that's it. They won't be coming back on. We'll be switching off as fast as we can. And we'll have hundreds, thousands of people trying to do that, I'm sure. But it's our job to try and protect it. And it's our job also to spot whales, right? Because somebody is going to go, well, okay, so I'll put 3,000 phones in a bank, in a warehouse, and give them IPs. And it's our job to try our very best to detect those people and say, no, we're just going to shut you down because we don't want whales. We want this to be for the people. So unlike conventional mining on all cryptocurrencies that is entirely dominated by whales, we are trying desperately, and we will literally, in our terms and conditions, we can just switch you off. We think you're a whale, we'll switch you off. Wow. And that's what we're trying to do. We want this to be for the people, so the people can mine a little bit. I don't want one guy in his Chinese warehouse to mine 3,000 phones at once and him have all the coins. That's not what this is about. It's about us sitting there, and we have the chance, every 5 minutes a block is emitted by our mobile mining system. So every 5 minutes we can go, okay, we've got another chance to block whales. Okay, some whales got a bit of that block, but the next block, the algorithm chops them out, and it doesn't just chop them out of the next block; it chops them out. And it's quite draconian. So it's like, okay, we've detected that you've tried to spoof something, because it does all sorts of things where it passes little bits of code to and from. We've detected you tried to spoof something, you're out. So they then have to go off and source a whole nother IP address to try and put into the pool, and it's going to be quite hard for people to beat it. I'm sure people will be doing it all the time in terms of attempting.
Nature of the beast.
Yeah, but the mining thing's going to be, that's going to be what takes us out on that viral growth. So spending the money is going to be all about getting users, because if we get users, we can be the biggest, and that's what this whole thing is about. I would like to. And whether I can or not, I don't know, but this is what I'm going to try and do. I would like to sit down. There was a study done in May by Cambridge University that said we've analysed the blockchain. Bear in mind this is in May of this year, so a few months ago now, but they analysed the blockchain of Bitcoin and they said, you know what? We think there are about 3 million holders or traders of Bitcoin.
Okay.
Now, quite a clever mathematical study of the blockchain. So there's going to be more now, so let's throw in another million. So there's probably 4 million people that are using Bitcoin, and that's the biggest in the world by far. Well, that's our goal then, isn't it? So if we can get 4 million users of Electroneum, we've got as many as Bitcoin. If I can get 12 million, we've got 3 times as many. And at some stage, it'd be really nice for people to be saying, when you see in the press, they say cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. They'll say cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Electroneum. And if I can get in there in the exalted, places where it says Bitcoin and Electroneum, if those two things get written next to each other in the press, then my work here is done. I feel that would be really awesome. And then if we can get something, say Electroneum and Bitcoin, even better.
Awesome. Well, we've got about 800 people on here, and our meeting's got some questions, but I just want to put it out there to you guys, right? I'm not here to represent Electroneum. I'm not here to tell you guys buy Electroneum right now. That's not why I'm here. I'm here because I've got invested interest in Electroneum, and there's certain questions that I got written down here, and I've driven 164 miles. Mitchell lives about 20 minutes away. Good for him. Right? So I got this question I wanted to answer, right? So I've got a couple of more to do, and I know Mitchell's got it. So then I'm going to pass it on to you guys, and then you guys can ask your questions to Richard, and then what we'll do, we'll have another tour. Richard can show us the mobile mining part of it and a few other things. Mitchell, you got something?
Yeah, I've got from everybody watching, everybody that's actually bought Electroneum in the ICO and is bought it through Cryptopia, which is obviously the only option that you've got at the moment. Maybe a tricky question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What would you advise people? Because a lot of people are saying, I'm holding. What would be your perception? Yeah. What would be your thinking? Yeah. If you was those people?
Well, I really,
take Richard.
Okay, yeah, I really don't want to speculate on price.
No,
right?
Of course.
Because I'm not even sure if I'm legally allowed to speculate on price. First of all,
that's right. Yeah.
So first of all, I think it's in dangerous ground. However, the project obviously had a bit of a setback, but it's a delay, not in any way, shape or form going to be. It is just literally a delay of the start.
Yeah.
And so anybody, in my opinion, who was saying, actually, I'm going to get out now while the going's good, is getting out before we've even started the project. I mean, and by all means, do so. It's your money and your choice. By all means, do that. And the same thing goes. You've had all these. We have got a lot of negativity, and if those people, when we get this web wallet live, if they want to transfer their coins to Cryptopia and sell them, just go for it. Do it. Right, and that's great. Get rid of the negativity, and then what we'll do is we'll take the hundreds of thousands of positive people forwards for the journey. I don't really want the baggage of people who are super negative about what we're doing. Yes, we've made a mistake, and we should have done all this earlier, and that's totally my fault. And when people personally abuse me, I can take that. When they abuse my team, I don't like it at all.
No,
it's my fault. It's not their fault, right? I sit at the top of that, and it is my fault that we're late. So I'm terribly sorry that we're late, but we're just going to be late. That's all it is. Well, once we get through that, then the project starts, right? We've got a ton of money to spend. You can't fail. I mean, you think about it. If we had to pay, the cost per acquisition of a user is how all software is worked out, right? I've worked out, we've got hundreds of thousands of users of our software. Not Electroneum, well, though we have got hundreds of thousands, but my other software that I've written, you always look at a cost per acquisition. How much marketing budget do you have to spend to get a user? And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. There's some slight more technicality than that, but that in a nutshell is what you want to know. Cost per acquisition. We've got $40 million. So let's say it costs me $1 per user to acquire them. They give me $40 million. It's not going to cost. It's not going to cost $1. Bear in mind, everyday games, 70p for a game, average sort of price. You wouldn't be freaked out by 70p a game. Now imagine those guys have done a marketing campaign to get those people on. I can tell you how much it didn't cost to get them on. Didn't cost 70p. Because they've got to make a margin, haven't they?
Of course, that's right.
So their cost per acquisition on a lot of these games, I know, is around 14p cost per acquisition. That game doesn't pay the user. That game is something that they've had to pay to download. Ours is a free app, so it's going to be much easier to convince people to download it than it is a paid game. So our cost per acquisition should be, touch wood, less than 14 cents per user. And if it's less than 14 cents per user, then do the math again. You know, let's say we take 20 million and push it on cost per acquisition. We've got tens of millions of people, tens of millions.
We're Rhett and Link, and we wanted to show you how.
So I am not. When I say mass audience and mass adoption, I really do mean that. I don't mean mass adoption. We're going to go for 150,000 and we're going to beat NEM or whatever.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
You look at some of those top 10 cryptocurrencies. And sorry if I'm slagging any of you guys off that run these companies. Some of them have got 22,000 users and 40,000 users.
Yeah.
You know, it's such a close, tight-knit thing, and I don't mean that in any disparaging way, because what they do is a very technical thing, and they're not trying to deliver what we're delivering. So I don't mean that in a bad way, and I hate to be negative about other people's things, so I don't mean it that way. But what we're trying to do is not that. We're not trying to supply a highly technical service to a very small, closed group. We're trying to supply a really easy-to-use thing to millions of people. And that's why I'm excited, because I think we can.
I can see some people are saying, why the gambling part though? Why the
gambling is just simply because I was in the right place at the right time. Because the people that are in these developed nations, one of the things that they like to do is spend their money on gambling. Right? There's a massive audience for gambling, especially in Indonesia. So we know that market exists. We know there's a huge unbanked population that gambles in cash. And I happen to have a contact, Andy Denton, that's one of our advisors. He sits in Gibraltar, and when we were sitting down discussing this before it came out, he said, "Oh my goodness," because he sits right in the middle of the huge gambling companies and their e-commerce, their e-payment facilities. That's what he does. That's his consultancy role, and he's done that with. He's done that with not all of them, but with a lot of the really big gambling companies. And he said to me, "Rich, if you deliver this to millions of users in those developing nations, then I can hook you straight in with all of those companies, and they would all have a meeting with you. They will all sit down and go, you've got how many people? And you've given them what? Some sort of payment? How do we get access to that payment? Oh, okay, by X." At the moment, they can't deliver them a gambling app, because if they deliver them a gambling app, they've got no way of getting any money from them, because they've got no banking. So now I appreciate that for some people gambling is a tough thing.
It's a touchy one, because there's a lot of people on YouTube. There's been some things going on like why crypto in the gambling area.
Yep, it isn't about crypto. It's about micropayments. That's what it's about. If we facilitate, because our cost of transfer is very low as well, then we are facilitating micropayments.
Okay.
So it just happens that I have a contact that is highly positioned in that market, and so therefore, before we ever went live, I knew that market was highly receptive to what we're doing and where we can take it. Now that doesn't mean that will be where it ends. You know, like any of these things, people have said to me a few times, "Where are your commercials? Who are you dealing with? What have you got? I want to see commercials." It doesn't work that way round. So you can't walk in to Microsoft and say, "Hey guys, I've got an idea. I'm going to write some software and it's going to be awesome. Do you want to sit down and discuss buying it?" They're going to go, "No, you wouldn't even get the meeting."
Yeah,
whereas if you walked to Microsoft and said, "Hey, I've got a platform. I want to sell it to you. We've got 3.5 million users and would you be interested? I'm not talking about Electroneum. I'm just talking about just someone who
Of course,
does
anybody would.
Like Microsoft
Yeah.
going to be 3.5 million
Yeah,
users.
yeah, of course.
But suddenly you've got interest now, and that would be the same. If we get the users on board and they're just sitting there, and if all they do is just sit there and they've mined a bit of Electroneum, now they can share it with their friends. Maybe they say, hey, you know, you owe me whatever it is, a couple of dollars. Oh, I tell you what I'll do, just for fun, I'm going to fire that across Electroneum. Right?
So you're just giving the guys that are in the gambling area, gambling area, just a transaction payment facility. So it's not like you're using the coins to initiate.
Absolutely
Okay.
not. So we're not putting gambling
Has
in
that
the
cleared
app.
that, guys?